And hello for everyone. Nice, San Francisco. Porta Vallarta. Nice, guys. Okay, amazing. Good to see everyone. Sweet. So Ableton 12.2, another huge point update. Also, point 1 was very, very big, which is amazing to see. Just Ableton on a tear recently with all these amazing new updates. If anyone wants, there's a page here, kind of doing a general overview. I'm pasting it in the chat of all the new features. There's also, if you scroll down, right here, the actual release notes. This is where I would usually go to go over everything, including the bug fixes and whatever it may be. And we're mostly looking at this right here. This is the main, all the main updates, although there's a new keyboard shortcut that was just added. We'll talk about everything. So let's jump right into it. And let me know questions in the chat, okay? The main update, I would say the most requested feature, we'll do later, which is the bounce in place, freeze and flatten, that now turned into bounce on the track. Right here, bounce track in place, bounce to new track. We'll talk about this, and we even have a new shortcut for freeze track, which is great. But let's first of all see all the new sound design and music tools that Ableton is adding in the new beta version. Excuse me. Okay, I'll start with my most exciting new feature, which is a new Max for Live device called Expressive Chords. This is a separate download. You just download it from as a pack. Oh, what's the update? As a pack, and it's a Max for Live device you can load up. I'm assuming it will also end up under the MIDI effects. I don't see, oh, it is right here. Okay, it's also going to be under MIDI effects once you create it. So Expressive Chords, it's a MIDI effect. You do need to load an instrument after it. Maybe we load Meld, because later we'll also talk about Meld. It has also a few, 2 new features as well. So Expressive Chords, which is also can be operated from the push, and changing the interface of the push kind of expanding its capabilities. Let's first focus in the software. Expressive Chords, 1-note chord. So someone asked, before we do this, someone asked, how is that different from our existing chord MIDI effect? So the chord MIDI effect only have one set of intervals for all the notes. So if I load the chord MIDI effect before this instrument, and I'm going to put it in key awareness mode. Right now we're in C major, that's fine. And let's do some chord here. We'll do 2 scale degrees, 4 scale degrees, and 6. So that's a 7th chord, whatever the type is. So whatever note I hit, oh, okay, it's only going to give us that set of intervals. So if I load here keyboard monitor, oh, let's put it after the chord MIDI effect so we can see what it's actually playing. Okay, it's all stacks of thirds. With the expressive chords, we have chord sets, similar to what we have with the stacks MIDI generator. Let's pull out the expressive chords. So now I can start hitting also just individual notes. And let me just show you what I'm actually playing. I'm going to load another keyboard monitor right before. This is what I'm playing, and this is what it's outputting from the expressive chords. Oh, you can't let me do. So this is what I'm playing. Okay, completely different chords, and it's a set of chords. We get a bunch of chord sets right here under the expressive chords. Where is it? Expressive chords. You already get MIDI chord sets, and they're basically MIDI clips. So if I load, let's say, post-rock, I'm going to drag this in right here. Doesn't matter where. And I'm just going to click, I'm going to open up this section in the expressive chords. Let's fold these, we don't need to see those. And hit import. So now I have a completely different. Okay, completely different set of chords. And if I go inside the clip and see what it is, it's essentially just chords on every beat. You see, we have a bunch of different chords on every beat. And you can create your own, okay, your own chord sets by just creating MIDI clips. You can even drag them then to this folder if you want to keep it organized. I think I was on Neo Soul Minor. Let's import from clip. Okay, now it doesn't end there because we can do so much more with this awesome tool. Guys, sorry, I'm missing the chat. How do I download Expressive Chords? Tiny, yes, if you're on the beta program, like Kaylin mentioned, you're gonna get access to a website called Center Code. It's a separate website just to manage all the beta downloads and bug report and all of those things, feature requests. So you go there and download it. It's a separate download. And once Ableton 12.2 officially gonna get released, it's going to be its own pack, live pack, that you have to download once. Tiny, you got the beta, nice. Skanky Banana, I love the name. Yes, I would say this is one of my favorite new features. It's amazing. Okay, and I'm not a pianist, but I know my way around the keys, and I still love this stuff. Okay, Rani, what's up, Rani? I see everyone answering each other. Great. Let's continue. So it's not only those set of chords, which is great. We also have this view right here that shows us kind of the notes themselves, which is great. You can transpose them here. Let me unfold this first. Here we can tilt it, and it might make more sense if I load a different instrument. Maybe I load like a guitar instrument that has more velocity sensitivity. And right here we have the tilt, where we usually play a chord, the bottom notes, if we strum it kind of thing, the bottom notes are higher velocity compared to our weaker fingers and so on. So we can essentially tilt the velocity accent towards the bottom notes or the top notes. Let's just load this. I'm waiting for this to load right here in the guitar. This is ample sound here. So you see, if I tilt it downwards, it's mostly the bottom notes, or higher velocity, and then the higher notes, higher velocity. It would make more sense as we introduce the strum. You can invert the chords, which is great, and you can strum, which we saw this feature all over Ableton 12, the strumming. And it's so amazing to me to be able to access those quite complex chord progressions with so much ease because of just this amazing device, which, by the way, the designer, at least the interface designer, reached out on Instagram, so hopefully I'll meet him. I don't know if he's here. If you're here, please say in the chat. Nice. Now, one of the most amazing things here is the articulate. So I'm going to open up right here this expander. I'm going to go to the articulation editor. And here is, if I change the articulation, you'll see that it's different ways of strumming. So let's go to the first. Okay, you can also invert it. Let's make it even more obvious. I'm going to extend the strum. And then I can change the articulation. This. And you can customize it if you want. I can move this here, maybe this here, this, and then hit save. Now, I want to mention, this is a smart instrument that I loaded up here. So you'll sometimes, meaning that it's trying to behave like a guitar player would. So sometimes you would not hear 5 notes, you would maybe hear 4 notes, and like we saw now, you saw that? Just a hammer off. But it's amazing. So you can even customize your own articulation. Now right here we have modulation where we can, especially if you're using it with the push, let me bring up the push actually. Excuse my cable mess on the floor there. But here on the push, I just want to show you, you have access to all those chords right here. Here we have access to all the articulation and the downward articulation, essentially just reversing, inverting it. Okay, but we also have access to all of this. So for example, maybe I want the velocity to control the strumming. So that means that when I hit it soft, it just plays a block chord, and when I hit it strong, it gets more strumming. Or maybe the slide, which is MPE, dedicated control, with the strum. So if I hit it, on the top of the pad, sorry for my middle finger, hit it on the top of the pad, or on the bottom, okay, and you can even randomize articulation here, randomize variation. So super amazing, awesome stuff. I love it so much. Let's continue with this. Maybe we make a chord progression with that, because it's also very important to understand that we can extract the chords in MIDI, because sometimes I need to see what the chords, so I can add a bass and all of that. But let's continue just a tiny bit more sound design with some more stuff. So this is absolutely amazing. I love it. If anyone makes custom like chord clips, sets for this, please share them on Discord. Would be awesome. Juan, start my video, you mean, or your video? Okay, Skanky asked, maybe a bit too fast, but was wondering if you can lock it to a certain key.
I don't think you're recording.
Not for me, it says recording.
Yeah. It
Oh,
says
good.
recording.
Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah, all good, all good. So can we lock this to a certain key? So technically no, as a built-in feature. We don't have key awareness on this device, but I can load the scale MIDI effect right after it if I want to lock it to a certain key, but that means it won't really play these chords, but that will still give us a chord set, and then this will quantize the notes to the scale that we selected. Right, and there everything is in C major. So we can somewhat lock it in key with the extra MIDI effect scale, but by default it doesn't have a built-in key. It's just a chord set that can be anything, especially with these ones that are more of the neo-soul ones that are, let's try neo-soul major, that probably have modal interchange, meaning that they are switching between keys and just going to whatever chord sounds nice. Okay, so you can combine it with extra effect. Can you, Eyal, what's up, Eyal? Can you explain the logic behind the chords on the different packages? Seems like random, no? How do I manage chord progressions this way? Okay, so I would say that it is encouraging experimentation. I don't know what went behind the thought process behind making these chord sets, besides that the lower notes are going to be lower octaves, and as much as you go higher, more and more higher here, it's going to also trigger higher octaves chords. But the chords themselves, I don't know what's the logic behind them. See, for example, this is not necessarily D chord. This is definitely not a C chord. But what if we want to make chord progression out of them? So let's say, let's make a chord progression and then we'll do some sound design. So the idea here is to just experiment with a few notes, and I don't have to go crazy and be like a crazy keyboardist. I can just play one note at a time, or even on a pad controller like the push, and come up with some cool progressions. So again, I'm just trying to find 2, 3, maybe 4 chords that can be nice in a sequence. BPM 145. That can be nice in a sequence. Let's go here. I'm going to close this. Let's at least see what chords we play. Okay. And by the way, I'm just hitting like this is the most, what you actually playing is the most simple thing. Also, MIDI, our initial MIDI clip gonna look so simple. Let's. Okay, that feels like a rest can. I want the Neo Soul minor. Let's do the Neo Soul minor. Go here, import, and I think we should be good. I'm gonna turn on the metronome, although we don't really need it. Okay, that's maybe part one of our beat. Let me capture that. Command-Shift-C. You see our clip? It's so simple. Just to get a vibe before we do anything else, I'm gonna load some drums in. Let's quickly program some drums. Excuse me today, just to get the ideas across a bit faster. I'll use some plugins. Usually I don't like to use plugins. Today we'll use some plugins just so, again, the ideas will flow a bit faster. Maybe something like this. I will program in a quick beat here. And we're gonna do some something more maybe fusion kind of vibe. Let's say add some snares here. Maybe some fill snares right here. Lower accent, go snares. And some more kicks. Let's launch that. Let's turn this down. Let's turn everything down. Whoops. And maybe this should be here. Turn this down. Some hats. Let's take the hats, randomize them. Let's duplicate that. And we'll do this accent right here. And we'll put the kick here. Some more go snares. And I need like here a kick with the open hat. And then we'll close it quickly. Let's duplicate this entire thing again. And here we'll do just a very quick transition, maybe like some toms. Yeah? And another open hat right here. No, we don't need that's too long. And also this, where this snare should also be like here. Ooh, yeah? And then like this. I don't like that. We're gonna do maybe like rim shots. Like that. And here we need some... Okay, let's already move them to the arrangement just so we can skip around. We don't want to work loop bass. Let's do this. Right, so now we have an idea. Let me put it here. I'm gonna come up with another idea. And as you can see, the MIDI clips are so simplified that it's so awesome. Wait, we wanna see what we're doing, right? Not what we're doing, just what we're playing and what it's actually giving us. Ugh. Here we go. I'm gonna go down an octave. Let's find something. Maybe we'll stick on a chord one. No, okay, let's stick to what we had and then maybe we'll do another section. Sweet, so now we have this chord. It's a bunch of random jazz chords. What do I do with them? Right, how do I add more? Wait, let me check the chat. Aaron, what's up, Aaron? Can you map that to the push pad in a drum rack, for example, so that you can hit chords while playing drums? Great question. So what I would do is, let's say I have my Where's the push? Sorry, it's coming up. All right, I want to play drums and trigger the chords at the same time. I'm just going to arm them together. I guess we'll have to, maybe in this case, I will have to maybe make it a bit more sophisticated with the MIDI. So I would add a MIDI effect rack before it. This is a bit more advanced, guys. I'm going to create a chain. I'm going to key zone just the chord that I want. So maybe on the snare, I'm going to also put a pitch MIDI effect here. And then I'm going to choose whichever chord I want on the snare. Let's say this. And I'm also going to add a note length. So it's kind of strumming, come on, give me a note length. Right before the expressive chords, give me a longer note. And we need to go back to our addictive. And then maybe I'll have this, but this is more advanced MIDI stuff. I'll have this button switch the chord or the mod wheel or anything. So yes, but you just need to set it up a bit more. Where were we? I'm going to open the undo history, Command-Shift-Z. We need to go back here. Not create chain, drop device, move notes. Are we here? I think we're here. We're not here. Ugh. Are we here? Yeah, let me just delete this. Okay. Wait, more stuff in the chat. Pull off, Richard, thank you. Hammer off. Pull off, it is. Dennis, I agree. It is incredible. Skanky, okay, but we can stop making it this easy to make music. Guys, I want to say something about this just for a brief moment. We're nearing an age of curation. I think everyone's aware of what's happening with the visual art and the AI world. I even saw this animator guy. Animation, it's very hard and very tedious and takes just to render, just to finish the work, the artwork, and just to hit export. For us, what it takes, 5 minutes to export, or a minute to export the entire song. Think exporting like 3 minutes of animation. It takes them forever, unless you have a farm of computers. Doesn't matter. I saw him cry because what's very near on the cusp already there with ever regards to visual art made by AI. It's almost there. It's already there, I would say. We very soon always gonna start seeing full featured Pixar movies that just everything is AI. But we're still the curators. So we still tell the computer or the AI, hey, I want this and this and this. Oh no, change that and that and that. So we are nearing that age also with music. We're almost there with some aspects, if you look at websites like Suno.ai and those type of things where it can extend our music or completely make new music. So I think this is a really great time to enjoy the tools that, yes, I agree, Skanky, they make it super easy, but also make it open some doors for creativity. Because now I have more capacity, excuse me, as a human to spend the time that I would spend on making a song. Let's say it's an hour. So instead of spending that on coming up with the chord progression, now I can spend on it on sound design or making a weird or making the chord progression weird or whatever it is. So it just kind of pushes our creativity to be spent on other things, which is, I think, also very exciting. And one last thing I would say about the AI before we move on. When we are reaching this very soon to be, breakthrough age of curation, when we're no longer really making the music, we're still going to tell the computer, hey, I like this, I don't like this, make me that, don't make me that, right? It's still some way, we're still telling it what to do, but the AI is doing everything. We are going to reach also a point where the AI is making top 10 hits a million top 10 hits a second. You can compete with that. But that will open the door, will somewhat force us human musicians to make human music. And that can mean so many things. And I'm super excited about it because we're going to have to be weird. We're going to have to be unique and authentic and human. And that might create really weird music that I'm very excited about. So there's a lot of things to get excited about when it comes to music creation. But yes, I agree, the tools are becoming insanely amazing. But if now you give it to someone who don't know how to make music, they not necessarily know how to use the tools. You can show them how to use the tools. But even if I give this tool to, if you get started using that, it not necessarily mean that immediately you can make cool music, but it will give you access to those chords and chord ideas and chord progressions and of course all the other tools we check out. Yes, but Juan, I didn't stop your video. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. Ben, it's handy if users have the scaler plugin. You can drag and drop the chord sets out of the scaler and into the chord expression device. Scaler has a lot of chord sets in various keys. Excellent, yeah, absolutely. Scaler, it's a plugin, the Scaler 3, the ones that... Yuval, you studied jazz guitar for 10 years to get to this. Okay, yes, but I would say that there is still a lot of things you can do on the guitar in real time that you might not be able to do here. And also just the feel of playing the guitar for yourself is something slightly different, I would say, than me just triggering them on my MIDI keyboard here. So yes, but maybe that's the same what the animator felt when he started seeing all these animations being created by AI. Eyal, thank you. Thank you, Elisa. Yes, I've been using addictive drums for a long time, so I do make those drum. I love these beats, so I make them quickly. Thank you. Gabe, I had no idea you could open up a whole list of undo history and just click back wherever you want. Yes, right here, guys, under options. No, view, undo history, a command option Z. And this is absolutely amazing because you can jump back and forth unless you start like back and then you do something. So no, but back and forth just to, hey, where was I here? Did I mess it up? Let's go. It might be super beneficial in some situation, even in mixing. Right, you do a lot of small change in the EQ. Did I really make it better? Let me go check and I'll come back if it is better. Dennis, the MIDI, I definitely need to do a MIDI drum programming because I love program drums in MIDI. That's one of my favorite things to do, especially with plugins like Addictive Drums. That just sounds like a drummer that I don't have access to. And even if I do, it's like freaking going now, recording drums, it's a headache. I hate recording drums. Fucking multi-mic setup, then editing it. Anyway, but yes. Peter, I remember the time when we have programmed PostScript to print stuff. Is anybody still care about PS? What is that? Same is true for development and music production, by the way. We had the same discussion with intro to MIDI. Yeah, probably. Yes, Jerry Smith, human music. I mean, it's coming. We're going to be forced into that category, which I'm very excited about. It's going to have some weird music. Cat AI is overestimated. What it does not have and will never have is empathy. Music is about empathy and is about humans. Yes, I agree, but I think the problem and the power of AI that it can learn. And I feel like the more deep you go with the learning, the more like human it would become, not to the point where it will be human, but at the point where it can be deceived to be perceived as human. It can deceive us. You can see that in chats, in other things. So I think just the more they learn, the more they can imitate better. So that's where it's gonna start becoming crazy. So that's why we still gonna have room for the human music, because they still got you want the AI to make a top 3 pop song. It can do it by looking at all the past and creating, something inspired by that. But maybe there's still gonna be room for us to be weird and human. Thank you for the scalar link. Rani, can I ask again about the spread of the chords when you import from a clip? Are there any rules for making the clip? Okay, so if we go back here, Ableton provides all these clips for us. And if we bring them in, it's essentially a chord on every beat You see, every beat here has a chord. I wonder if there's a limit to the notes. I think there's one here, 6 chords. It seems like all the chords are with 4 notes. I don't know if that's a limitation. There's obviously no manual yet for all of this stuff. But it does seem like they all have 4-note chords. That's definitely something. Here's 3-note chords. I would check. Oh, never mind. You can do a lot more notes. Detroit chords. Detroit house. Should we switch it to Detroit house? Maybe later. But I think it's just a note on every beat. You can have up to 64 chords, I think. You don't have to fill them up, all fill them up, but a chord on every beat. And the chord seems like can have as many notes as you want. Maybe there's a limit, but you can even have 1-note chords. So you can kind of maybe do more progressions that also have internal melodies, chord, few individual notes, chord, few individual notes. So again, this Expressive Chords is amazing and has huge potential for so many amazing stuff. Skanky, is there a way to take Expressive Chords input into Meld, for example, but have one of the oscillators take the chord and the other one just the root note? That's a great question. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna take Meld here. And we first of all gonna take the MIDI from our track with the Expressive Chords. Where is it? Right here. So that means that if I play this, it's also triggering that. Okay. And now we want just the bottom note here. So I don't think we'll be able to do that with just one Meld. But if I take this Meld, group it, duplicate it, turn on the other oscillator, and now we can key split. So let's take this and take this. So now maybe for the bass, we'll do like a sub. And for this, let's do like more of a swarm. Okay, so we hacked our way around it, but that's one way. There are 2 separate melds, but in fact, besides the intermodulation, Meld by itself is bitimbral, meaning it's 2 separate synths. Although, again, there's a lot to say about the cross modulation and the fact that they're both going into this drive that can change the sound if kind of like you drive both of them into it, and the spread and everything. But that's one way. I'm not sure you can do it with one Meld. That'd be cool. Anyway, great question, guys. Let me make sure I'm not missing it. It's totally democratizing because we don't have to have tons of money to hire people. We can flow from our taste and intuition and not deal with egos and rentals. That's true. I think, there's always plus and like advantage and disadvantage, or people get hurt. I think back in the day, classical era, some people profession were to like transcribe, like actually write the music sheet. What, the composer gonna sit there, write for all the orchestra? The music sheets. So there's people writing them. His job is no longer exist. So I think there's gonna be those type of positions in the music industry, and unfortunately, some of them are gonna hurt some musicians, not like adjacent musicians, but actual musicians because of AI and even modern music softwares. Like I'm sure back in the 80s, if you make a movie soundtrack, you would probably use an orchestra. Today you take maybe a quartet. That's it, just for the top, and then everything is libraries. Anatoly, what's up? I'll start worry about AI when it will be able to feel pain. That's interesting. I mean, that's another concept to think about. Dream, is there another package of chords besides scalar? I do want to remind everyone that we also have the MIDI generation tool Stacks that can generate chords. And even to the Stacks, I made a video about this, if you guys remember. It's free if anyone wants. I don't know where it is now, but you can load custom chords into the Stacks. So you can generate different ways. But even just this is absolutely amazing. Kontakt has a chord tool now that is somewhat like Scalar, just not nearly as advanced. James, yes, you're right. Kontakt is great. Kellen, it's worth mentioning a free option. You can find nearly endless MIDI chord sets by searching Google. Yes, you can even ask ChatGPT, just tell it the rules. It will give you even that. Dream, I wish we had nation writing like Cakewalk does. You talking about notation? So I would recommend, if you guys want notation, there is Live Score 2. I think it's already Live Score 2. I think it's in version 2 now. Ableton. Live Score. I think it's version 2, so worth checking out. I didn't check it out yet, but I have a friend from Italy who is making, here, I think this is free, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. I'll paste it in the chat. I have a friend from Italy who is M2TM. He makes amazing MIDI tools, and one of them is M2TM Notes. So from Notes, you can transfer it easily to a sheet as well. So worth checking out as well, okay? Sorry guys, I'm missing stuff in the chat. I just saw you can set one to mono, but I think I will just grab a random note that way. Yep. Chord U has downloadable chords in MIDI form. Thank you, Kylie. Chord U, I don't know that one. He would go insane. Les Paul, Nissi? Yeah. I mean, Les Paul, even that, you know, in some way, kind of killed the acoustic guitar at that time. The classic and acoustic guitar. Once you start electrifying it, acoustic guitar, that's weak. Anyway, okay, let's continue. So expressive chords, I just want to mention that now if I want to get the actual notes from the expressive chords, I'm going to open up a new MIDI track. I'm going to get the MIDI from the track that we have the expressive chords on. So it's this track right here. And record our chords. So this is going to record everything with the MIDI effects, whatever MIDI effect you have there, and we have the neo soul, the expressive chords there. So let's record that. And we should unmute. There we go. Before we do that, let's make it a bit more expressive. I'm going to, first of all, let's randomize the strum a tiny bit. Let's randomize the tilt and articulate. I'm going to randomize everything. Let's load the expression control modulator. I'm going to put it on random. And let's randomize just a tiny bit, not too much, the strum. I'm going to go and randomize another one. Just again, not too much, the tilt. Another one, let's randomize the articulate. Let's try that. Let's record that. We might give it a few shots because you saw that second chord was weird. So let's see. The second chord is weird. Okay, maybe in the tilt I won't randomize. I will, which one is the tilt? Is it tilt? I'm going to close that. I'm going to automate this. So let's automate that. Let's zoom in. This starts like that. Oh, that's kind of cool, man. No? Okay, we're gonna do more stuff to the sound. Let's just record that. That was too long of a... Okay, nice. Now I can take this clip and just paste it here. Oh, move it here. I'm gonna turn off our expressive chords because we recorded them. And this can be done with any MIDI clip. So any MIDI effect, you can record it. Now it's the same. Can we fix that with the strum MIDI tool? Can I fix? No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to hit Command Option J, which is fit to time range. You see that? It just makes all the notes the same length. Now I'm just going to manually strum because the strum was just too long. and the velocity is too high. Okay, and here, maybe I want the pull off, not the hammer off. Thank you. That was cool. Okay. Okay, let's do a tiny bit more sound design here. And now I can delete this, by the way, I don't need them. Before we move on, here's another new feature which we have is roar. Now have a couple new things. Wait, chat. I'm moving on from the expressive chords, okay, guys? It's amazing. Explore it. Let me know if there's any questions we can answer about it. But there's other stuff we should check out. It's probably my favorite new feature in 12.2. Is there another package of chords besides scale? Okay. Peter, what's up, Peter? I was not aware that Expressive Chords even supports MPE slides to slide between chords. Yes, it's if we have time, we'll check it out on the push. On the push, it's quite incredible how it also kind of takes the push and essentially extend its capabilities, which I love. Can you bounce MIDI to MIDI? Wow. Damn, that would be so awesome. Unfortunately, no, you have to like record it. That'd be awesome if you can. That's a great question. Serhi, I hope I say it correctly. Yeah, amazing question. That's an awesome feature to ask. Skanky, look at my custom effect track I use for adding a little bit of roar on vocals. Well, which one? This one? This is the default one. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But MIDI to MIDI would be an awesome feature. Oh my God. I gotta tell Ableton. That's great. I want that so much. Okay, roar. So a couple of new things. First of all, my favorite new feature here, let me go to change it to serial. Now it defaults to multiband. So now we have two stages, one going to two. And here we have a new filter called Dispersion Filter, which is great for a bunch of stuff. But if you saw my recent Instagram video, listen to what happens when I change the frequency. So now we can open up modulation. Let's go to the matrix and just add some noise, some randomization, just a tiny bit to the frequency. Okay, just show for some kind of lo-fi pitch drift. Let's add some noise. Let's put it on high pass. Okay, awesome stuff. We also have the new auto filter. We'll talk about this more elaborately in a second. I don't really need to filter it right now. What else? Maybe some OTT. Less noise. I'm gonna blend this a bit. There we go. And check this out. We'll see if we want it for this sound, but there is a style of music that became Kellen instant lo-fi. Yes, I love this so much. Maybe we layer this with E piano. Now, maybe this. Let's put this here. Let's copy both our roar and our. So you saw how I set it up? Let me do it again here. Because it's just an instant. You can also save it as a preset. I'm going to put it on serial. Let's blend more of this. We don't even need the shaper on the first stage, just dispersion, and randomize it just a tiny bit with some noise. I'll do low pass noise. I don't like, we might need a different sound here. I don't like this sound specifically. But anyway, yes, instant lo-fi, I love it. The new feature. You can now also, although you could have done it with a Max for Light device from Iftach, we can now sidechain the feedback note. So maybe we'll do this later with more sound design. You also see all the sidechain menus are now redesigned. We'll see it in everywhere, in the compressor, gate, auto filter, wherever we have sidechain, it now looks slightly differently. Sweet. Also, I want to mention these buttons right here. These are used to be just right-clicking on the device. Some devices have extra options. So now you can click here and just to maybe encourage you to look at the right-click menus. Okay, wait. I want to mention something. Mauros, how AI is going to take our jobs so we will have more time to make music. Steve Jobs today came out with an announcement, I think it was today, that in 10 years, most people won't have a place, won't have, there won't be any use for them, which was kind of dystopian and scary. Okay, wait, back to lo-fi. Dream, can you demo how modulation works in expression chords? None of the YouTube videos I've seen understand how modulation works. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, not Steve Jobs. Oh my God. Bill Gates. Bill Gates. Thank you, Marcus. Bill Gates, not Steve Jobs. Okay, guys. So there is a style of music, and I'll come back to the expressive chords. Please remind me later with the modulation. There is a style of music that combined a few different styles of music that were already connected because they kind of came from each other, which is dubstep or melodic dubstep and future bass. And they call it color bass. So essentially taking kind of dubstep and putting it through resonators, which are effects that allow us to accentuate frequencies of certain scales. Now we have it built in Ableton, which is amazing. So before I go there, I just want to mention that there's two effects that are now key aware. The resonators, now you can have this. So for example, if I put it on the drums, right, I can kind of impose a pitch, and I can add more like intervals. But now I can have it key aware. So let's put it here. Maybe we'll change it to like E minor. And then we can do like 2, 4, 6, 8. Right? And this is just changing the root node. Okay, so that's great. But check this out. So now I can take the spectral resonator. Spectral resonator, take the sound, break it apart to partials. Okay, excellent. I can now has key awareness, and we can quantize. Okay, so right here, I want to change it to scale degrees. But I can also tell it to MIDI, listen to itself. Okay, listen to its own MIDI. Let's go to the guitar, polyphonic. Let's decrease the dry wet. Oh, first let's see what we're adding. So now this is a way to add this color bass sparkle that is associated with that specific style. Anything you want. So I'm going to put it on granular. Let's go unison. And maybe we'll even pitch shift it a tiny, a 4-man shift. And we don't need this. There we go. It makes more sense once we start adding it to our arpeggiator and stuff. Okay, let's continue here. And we did mention we want to also talk about the modulation. We'll do it in a second. Let's quickly just add a bass so we have something going on here. Can we... let me see what we can find here. Electric bass, can we find anything? No, so just because we're in this style, let me use Contact for this. I'm going to load the Rickenbacker bass, which is very appropriate for this kind of fusion. And I'll take the chords, okay? I'll show you what I'm doing in just a second. Let me load that. What? Why? Okay, I guess we're not going to use that right now. My hard drives are connected. Oh, I guess it doesn't recognize the... It's fine. Let's use a different one. I'm just going to use like a preset of a sub, or maybe this even. Let's try this. We might change the sound. I'm going to copy the chords, a clip right here. Actually, we don't even have to copy them. I'm just going to create a clip here. going to select both clips at the same time with Shift or Command. So I'm selecting both of them. Let's go and focus on the clip view so we can see both at the same time. Okay. And why is it only zoomed in like that? That's super weird. Is that a bug? That might be a bug. Okay, well, usually you can focus on both of them at the same time, but now I can't even, that's the only way I can zoom out all the way. Because they're not looping? No, also. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll just copy them here, but you can multi-clip, multi-edit MIDI clips. I don't know why it's didn't let me. Let's go here. Let's deactivate all the notes, and let's start putting in some extra notes. I'm going to put the lower notes right here. And then we'll add some extra notes in between. Here, this, and this. And let's add some extra notes. Just notes from the chord, maybe. Lower octave. Yep, let's go even more. Then we'll go maybe here and then here. What's this? What's there? We also need to. I'll have to put some. What other notes we have here? Yeah, we have this one. Tenor. And maybe here we have this one. We have this one. Good. And I want to do it. The Spectral Resonator sounds like a bad MP3. Anyway, let's continue here. I'm going to do the, and then another kind of rise here, but let's do maybe more going up here. Do we have this note? Probably. I think so. And then can we step down? I want it to be kind of more there. Maybe let's sound like this, and this should be here. And that's maybe too high. We'll take it down here. And then let's syncopate it just a tiny bit. Nice. And here also some transition here. So we're gonna do maybe something like this octave, this octave, this octave. That's way too fast. Is that even human? No, I don't want that. We're gonna go back down here. These notes we don't need right now. Okay, that's okay for right now. Let me also just quickly, we're gonna put a limiter on the master just to push it a tiny bit more. Mid-side, maybe we'll link them. We have an issue there with the transition at the end. We'll have to do something. But whatever, let's move on. We're here to overview everything. Let's also put this on the master before 50%. Okay. Okay, sweet. Sorry, stuff in the chat I'm missing. Can you install contact libraries on external SSD? Yes, that's what I have. I have 4. One of them is a big one, it's not connected. 3 external hard drives. They all have different samples. All my Ableton projects are there, and so on. But one of them, which with the contact libraries, I don't know what happened. I have to reconnect it. I also want to mention that everything is being backed up with Backblaze. It's like an online cloud service. So all my hard drives and my computer are being backed up all the time, but I'm using external hard drives for all my samples, Omnisphere, like plugins that have big libraries, Contact, all that is externals. Dennis, it breaks my heart every time I have to manage free space on my Mac by deleting Contact libraries. They take so much. Yes, external stuff, external SSDs. Is this bass in water? Yes. We can change the sound. Let me open the filter just a time. Okay, we might change the bass for right now. Gabe, I know it's off topic, but which addictive drum kit is that? It sounds good. That's my own presets, Gabe. You can check it out on my website. Super fat, super dry is these presets. They're all great. Who's using this one? Faith. Wait. Why did you jump? Faith, if you have been asked, I'm late, is there a new tool for detecting chords and key of audio in real time? Unfortunately not. There's not a built-in in Ableton to detect chords, and you can somewhat use maybe an analyzer. There's a free analyzer that is great, M-Analyzer, shows you the notes and stuff very clearly, but there's not really one that gives you the chords in Ableton. Juan, I highly suggest using Grant Perspective by SourceForge and open source file management. Oh, thank you. Gabe, oh, word, I didn't know people can make their own. Yes. Juan, and for Windows user, thank you. Gabe, I know this is off topic. Which addictive drums? Oh, with the binder. Okay. Sweet. Let's continue. Okay. So taking the chords, adding a bass, maybe we'll add another thing. I'm going to duplicate this right here, this entire ample guitar. We're gonna, instead of this, we're gonna use the new, not the new, we're gonna use Meld. And let's arpeggiate it. Now, I do wanna mention that Meld have a new Chord synth engine, and that is a stack, unfortunately, of just saw waves. It's just a stack, so you can play. I mean, and if you turn on the key awareness, it also listens to whatever key is it here. It just, it kind of feels redundant a tiny bit when we have the expressive chords, to be honest with you. So I'm just gonna use the basic shapes. We do have a new LFO wave shaper called Scrambler, and it kind of scrambled the wave shape of whatever LFO shape you have. It can scramble it, okay? All inspired by modular synths. So let's take this, let's take an arpeggiator. Let's maybe make like a pluck sound. And I'm going to just Command Option J on all of these. Let's put this here. Let's have it one bar, Command Option J. Command Option J. Oh. Okay, I just want these to be block chords like that. I don't want to miss any notes here. Thank you. And reminding you, this is the fit to time range shortcut that you can just Command Option J. And now, Command Option J. Okay, wait. Why? Yes. Okay, now maybe we want, do we want all of that? We'll see. Let's say add our spectral resonator. We'll take the MIDI from the You hear that? Okay, from the Meld. I don't know if we want that right now, but let's add some sort of arpeggiator here. Maybe instead, I'll just arpeggiate the chords with the MIDI effect. 7 scale degrees, so it's an octave. And that is already too spicy. Let's add, let's try to add roar just because we have a new mode there. I'm gonna use this as a delay. we're going to change it to delay. So now we have both two stages. We can distort just the delay. That's kind of cool. And this will just arpeggiate. So that's too spicy. That doesn't work for us. We'll figure out what's our chord here. What's our chord? Why it doesn't work for us? What's our chord? D, C, F. So we're in B flat. Looks like it's B flat. Although we're doing D in the bass. Okay, still with D flat inverted with the 9. Okay, a B flat. I'm gonna switch this to flats. And here, what's happening here? Why we have E? What is this? Why is this? Why we have this? What's happening? I think because we were in E minor, that's why. I don't want that. Let me take this. Let's put this here. Let's say again, delete this, highlight this, Command Option J, turn off the keyboard, transform this to 12. Would that be what we want? And I feel like also the Spectral resonator, that's why it sounded funky. And I want this again. Okay, nice. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Let's come back to our new features. The most requested new feature is this. Command B. I'm going to take this right here, this MIDI, with all the effects and stuff. Command B. Boom. It opened up a new audio track, gave us the flattened audio, and deactivated the MIDI clip. So now I have this right here on a new track. Let's reverse it. Let's reverse it. Okay, I can't because I'm on Hebrew. Let me change it to English. Reverse it. Thank you. Right, so now we can do all the stuff we can with, I mean, technically we had this before, but we had to freeze it, open a new audio track, drag it. It's just now much easier to do all these type of things. Maybe we'll take it up an octave. We'll use the transient loop mode. Ooh. And we'll make it move from left to right. Nice. I don't want this. Actually, these are also, I'll bounce in to a new track. So just to reiterate here, if I highlight this, we have two options. Bounce track in place, that will freeze and flatten the same track. Or Command B, that's the new shortcut just being added to the latest beta update, not the 12.2, like after it, very couple of days. Bounce to new track. That's usually what I would recommend because you can still keep the MIDI, use it in other tracks, go back if you need to change, which usually is not recommended, but if you need. But now we have this, and let's do some stuff with this. Maybe I'll stretch this. Let's delete this, hold Shift, stretch that. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll reverse a few sections here. But essentially resampling, which is an amazing thing to do because there are so much more things that we can do with audio that are just different than MIDI. Not better or worse, just different stuff. And all of this I will take maybe an octave lower. Nice. I want to move it from left to right. Let's automate that. Move it here. This, I'll take an octave higher. That's already starting to sound like a modem from the 90s. Yeah, whatever. And this octave lower. Right, but very quickly we can get to those weird sound design worlds with the just editing audio from our recorded, our resampled material. that's weird. Let's, okay. That's cool, I don't want this. Nice, I'm gonna bounce this also. So we can, let's see what we can do. 2 octave. Oh, I like that. That's kind of like, we just got a upgrade to our character in a very old video game. And I'm ready to beat some bad people's ass with this new upgrade. No, let's go textures. And I don't want this. Okay, but bounce in place and bounce to a new track. You can also now do it from the push, by the way, which is also super cool. So awesome new feature, because it just saves us some time to freeze, to do that. And it's much faster because it's only freezing that section, doesn't have to freeze the entire track, or record it in real time to a new track. All of those, really awesome stuff. Well, we have some stuff in the chat. Dream big. How can I customize my own scales in live and or push 3? I play 6 notes and 8 note scales with some chromatic in it that I want to create and add as scales, for example. Okay, so we can create our own custom tuning scales right here. That's what you want. And there is a free Max for Live device that is called, that's a very good question. Will I even find it now? That's the problem when you're having too much freaking utilities. Let's see. There's, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, it was released not too long ago on maxforlive.com, and it allows you to create your own custom tunings that then you can use in with Ableton. And I think that will get you where you want to go with that. But I think we'll have to go on maxforlive.com. We'll have to search tunings. No, tuning. Here we go, this. Tuning editor. You see that? So then you just put whatever notes you want to be on the number, and then you can use it as a custom scale, and hopefully that will get you what you want. And also, by the way, the push now supports custom tunings, which is also crazy. BMap, Maximilian. Did they change the reverse option in 12? No, same. So no, my keyboard was not on the right language. So good luck to you all. Oh, yeah, we'll send you the, thank you. Search, I know, use the search, I just don't remember what's it called. Microtuner, maybe, it might be able to beat Microtuner, it just Microtuner will, you'll have to make sure the device is, you know, with, I would say the tuning system in Ableton is a bit more global. But using this new device, I'm pretty sure it's free. Yeah, you can just download this. Let me share it in the chat. Okay, awesome. Sweet. So bounce in place. Awesome stuff. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, the filter. Okay, let's talk about the filter. Just this quickly, some stuff here. I think now we can add, you can see, we can add multiple columns here, which is awesome. So that's great. We also have now, I can have custom icons for my, and I didn't do it yet because we're still in beta, but I will definitely do it to my custom added folders to the Ableton browser. I will for sure add some custom icons here, and they're all very nice and cool in the Ableton style, very minimal, but still informative. So that's another option. Another new feature, we also have here quick tags on the bottom. So if I go and click on a sound, a preset, a sample, a plugin, whatever it may be, it has those quick tags that then I can even add very quickly more tags. And all the tagging system moved here with all these options as well. Okay, so just want to mention that. Sweet, let me close the tag editor. Okay, let's load here a sound so we can talk a bit about the new auto filter. Oh, Eliza, the Discord group, Thank you, Kellen, for sharing the link. Yeah, it's our Discord group. You can share tracks there, questions, just for our community. Feel free to join. Okay, sweet. So I have a Meld here. Let's talk about the newly, completely redesigned auto filter with a bunch of new filter modes, which all of them are quite interesting, just a bit more sound design tools. Okay, let me know if there's any questions on the stuff we talked about, and remind me about the modulation system. You know what? Let's do it quickly here. I'm going to load again the Expressive Chords, just so we can just briefly talk about this modulation system, which I mentioned in regarding to the push. But for example, that's cool. Okay, so each one of these parameters can be changed with the modulation. So for example, let me use it from the push. I'm going to bring up the push again. And from the push here, I can hold select and change my touch strip from pitch bend, the default one, to mod wheel. And we can see right here that the mod wheel is one of the modulators in the expressive chords. So that means that maybe I can have it strum, the amount of strumming, with my mod wheel. And then strum. Okay. Damn, you know what? Wait. Can we have that? I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to Command I to insert silence. I want this to be our intro. Let me just, we're going to insert even more silence here, just so we have enough room. And we're going to record that. I need a count in. Thank you. Which one was it? This? Okay, something like that. We'll come back to this. Now, to continue just talking about that, this is the mod wheel, but we also have slide. Slide is this, is when I'm on a pad, on an MPE pad or a note, like the Osmos, and I can go up and down. So I can have the slide maybe change the inversion. Hopefully you can see that, but you see if I hit the pad on the bottom, it's one inversion or one position voicing, and then okay, so the slide, the note pitch bend, let's see. I'll have to adjust it, but the pitch itself, let's see if we can do it with the strum. Can we, no, it's the note. You see how when I pitch it up, it starts moving? Right here. But I wonder how would you use it with the strum articulation, because that's for new ones, and velocity, where the stronger I hit. The note pitch bend, that's I need to explore that more. How would that actually work in this case? So that's the modulation. I just want to mention that it's not limited to this, thanks to our expression control device, that you can add all those other expressions, like all of these stuff, and map them to anything you want here as well. So that's not limited to only those. Okay, wait, is that our intro? Sweet, let's do a cooler sound here. Maybe we'll go like this. Let's just use our filter. And let's make it saw. Starting to be the spread, more stacked. And we're going to overlap the notes so we can glide them a tiny bit. So just overlap them. Go settings, time, glide the time. And we'll have to strum them a tiny bit, just so they're gliding. And then it's too long. And then here we'll probably have to have some sort of something like this. Just nice. And then We'll add more sounds, of course, to our actual music. And okay, so let's see what we can do here. And why is it coming from like that? We don't need to glide. What we'll do is this. This is new to Ableton 12.2, but let's record our chords from this meld, record them. We don't need the counting again now. What? Record enable, record. Okay, sweet. Copy them here, turn off the expressive chords, and let me close this. We're gonna go to the MPE map window here, go to our transformation tools. Let's do glissando on all of them and just get it closer. Damn, okay, and what's our next chord? Ooh, okay, wait, just 1 second, guys. What's our next chord? I need you guys to remember this. D, C, F, B flat. D, C, F, B flat. Let's write it here. D, C, F, B flat. So I'm gonna go to our last chord. Sorry, this is a bit of off rail. This is C sharp. I want it to go to B flat. And now this, what we said? D, C, F, B flat. So D. What is this? This is let's go up to F. Go up to F? Yeah, maybe. This. No, so this you go down to F. This you go up to D. And this you go down to C. So our last chord, well, it might be too much. No, okay, we want to check. Maybe just at the end there, but that's not gonna work. I'm just gonna we're going to do something with the filter here. Okay. I wanted to kind of glide it to the one chord, you know. Oh, Dream Big, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you liking the Discord group. Yes, it will be saved, Graham. We're recording the video and it will be sent tomorrow. Usually when we have our regular sessions, it's also with projects and samples and presets, but today just an overview. So it's just going to be the video, guys, okay? Don't expect any extra gifts like always. Does this Expressive Chords work on push standalone? I think it's a good question. I haven't checked it, but I'm almost positive it is. I didn't check it on standalone, but I'm almost positive it is. I didn't update my standalone to the beta. I'm using it in control mode. UV, can you confirm? I think UV used it. Not sure. Dream Big, I think pitch bend works with the strip on the left mod wheel and not on the actual pads. Oh, could be. Okay, wait. Let's say auto filter. So let's check out all the new stuff here with the auto filter. Okay, let's do something like this. So the auto filter kind of completely redesigned. Let me zoom in. Command plus. Did you guys know about the shortcut? Command plus for all us blind people. Until the point where it starts to just lose it. Here we go. Okay. So auto filter completely redesigned. Have all the classic filters that we had before, plus some other new filters. First, before we even use the new filters, let's just wobble it a tiny bit. We have our LFO built in right here. Much more obvious now that we have it. We had it in the old auto filter, but it wasn't as obvious or visual. So let's LFO this. Let's start it maybe more close. That's kind of cool, just that. I'm going to take all of this, Command Shift Delete. But we probably want to synchronize it. Let's sync it. What should we do? And this should also probably be quantized to something a bit more on the bar. Let's go to the quantize menu, Command Shift U. Quantize to the grid, and the grid is going to be a bar. I'm going to here we go. That's it. And I don't want this, just quiet. And it goes, okay, so let's change the phase. This is the starting point. we'll need some extra sounds there, but maybe this. And what happened to our kick? It got cut. Quantize this. Oh, okay, started here. Quantize. Okay, we needed a bit more build up, so we'll do it later with bounce in place. Let's check out this filter some more. I'm going to load Meld with the auto filter, and we're gonna use a basic saw so we can actually hear what's going on here in the filter. So again, like we saw, we have this LFO here. We can start modulating. We have all these filter shapes, including wander, which is pseudo-random, just gonna wander around, and sample and hold is gonna jump around. Yeah, although you can smooth it out. Nice. This is cool because this is gonna create two different LFOs and gonna create a difference between them. Hopefully you can hear it in headphones. But now we're gonna have two different, it's great for stereo effects, two different modulations on the left and right. Okay, which we already had. Again, we had all this stuff. We also have this new filter drives or filter circuits. For some of them are based on hardware synths. This is a new one based on feedback, and you can read all about them right here in the intro view, and I'm sure in the manual soon enough. You can also add, let's do smooth. You can also add another stage of steps here. You see? We're just kind of like turning down the resolution of modulation. Or even sample and hold. So there's two ways to create all modulation to be stepped in that way. With this or right here with these modes, the sample and hold. Okay, nice. We also have a soft clipper here. So if things are really resonating or too loud, it's gonna just clip it, but it's soft clipping, so it's also gonna add some saturation and coloring. Just be aware. And here we have this just trimming for gain staging. Now, if I open this up right here, and this is our sidechain, and by the way, this is also how the sidechain is gonna look like now. You see the compressor, they all look different now. So I can say external and source. Let's take the drums. Now the drums are gonna drive the envelope right here. Okay, so now we're listening to the drums. Let's solo this. Okay, the drums are coming in here. Let's loop that. And if I play it, let's turn down the LFO. Nothing happens, but... By the way, all of this was in the old filter. It's just much more visualized now. But all of this... Okay, so we're taking the rhythm of the drums. Not the rhythm, the loudness, the volume of the drums, and moving the envelope right here, which has some extra controls here for the timing as well. And sample and hold, so again, it's step modulation. It's not smooth, it's jumping in steps, kind of reducing the resolution of the modulation. Okay, all of this, we already had really great stuff, maybe some extra modulation modes and different filter circuits, which is awesome. But we have new filter types. First of all, this, you can kind of hack your way into it, but finally we have a dedicated DJ filter. You take it down, it's a low pass, you take it up, you guessed it. And they're very musical, meaning that they don't disappear, right? Even if it's all the way. So they set up in a musical way. You can map the control just like you would on a DJ mixer. You don't have to do anything else, which is very nice. Comb filter, as you can see, just a collection of peaks or notches. Okay, depends on the morph here. And it just kind of creates this flanging, phasing, sometimes delay effects. sometimes even kind of metallic stuff. Let's can we create that Daft Punk vibe? Let's see. I'm not gonna use that envelope because this is a envelope follower. It's not really a MIDI envelope, a triggered envelope. It's an envelope follower over volume. Let's take the MIDI envelope right here, envelope MIDI, turn off velocity, map this to this, to this, and then can we? No, we're gonna need more. I'm probably gonna have to adjust the sound as well, but hopefully you can hear where I'm going with the sound. What happened to him? But it's similar to what we have. We don't need this envelope. Similar to what we have in the Drift default wave shaper. It's kind of like a comb. Anyway, we can get the tone, but we're not gonna spend time on that. Comb filtering. Next, we also, and by the way, this morph does different things for each filter. So here, as you can see, it switches the notches to peaks. Okay. Next is the resampling, which is essentially a redux. Okay, digital distortion. This is probably the best filter right here. It's dual filter, notch and low pass. This morph moving the actual notch filter. It just sounds good where it's a low pass combined with a notch. So really awesome filter. Can we use it on this one? Really great filter. Let's go back there. And lastly, we have the valve filter, which emulating formants. Here is the switching between A, E, I, O, U. If anyone remembers, it's a super old school plugin. Delay Llama? No, not Delay Llama. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It was just this, just formants. Anyway, if anyone wants to make some tribal stuff. And this will kind of normalize the frequencies. So you can see it's bringing up the lower peaks. So you can create some really awesome, interesting tones, especially if you start combining all those dispersion filter, the new format filters, the spectral resonators, a lot of new sound design tools. Wait, chat. I got a 50-inch TV I use as a monitor. Yes. Yes, dude. I also am looking right here. Not big, but it's quite big considering how close I sit. Now the didgeridoo dudes are out of... Yes, although you can do some crazy sound. Yes, Johnny, what is that called? Delay Llama. Yes, classic. You probably can still download it. I don't know, maybe it's only 32-bit. But that's a classic one. That's what it sounds like. That's what it is. So now we have it built in Ableton. You can do some amazing stuff here with the filter. Still is one of the most used tools in Ableton. If I go, let's see if it still is. If I go right here, right click, do rank. Rank is how used is that. I'm going to click here. Roar. Wow, autofilter went to 5th place. Anyway, but that's your most used. Why, that's strange. Anyway, I guess I'm using RAW a lot recently. But that's you can check yours. What's your most used audio effects by rank? Let's close that. Sweet, amazing. So a lot to explore with the auto filter. I would recommend not stopping maybe at one auto filter, but maybe combining like multi-auto filters to do different things. You also have here the dry wet, so you can combine different kind of tones together with the dry signal. Really awesome, just expanding our sound design tools. Dream big, yes. Auto shift in 3, it is new because I mean, I used it maybe when it just came out. I wonder if it's just for the beta. I don't think that's my real order. I think here might be the real order or ranking for me. Okay, amazing. Guys, any questions? I actually wanna just maybe, any questions on the software? Because I do maybe want to show you just a tiny bit of the new stuff on the push, because it is kind of coming hand in hand, but we can focus just on the software. Maybe we'll add one more sound here. And also here, I need more stuff. I need more. So let's open a new MIDI track, copy this, arpeggiate, load, maybe drift. Drift now have high quality mode. Let's do sine wave. Yeah. We'll do it faster. Actually, we'll just speed it up. Do we want to just speed it up? Like this. We'll group these two together. We'll, guys, don't think you know, usually I take my time with this. I just don't want to spend anyone's time today, so I'm doing it fast. But usually I would spend a bit more time, at least on the sound selection. No, let's slow it down. Speed it up. And that's too much on our reverb. We'll take it down here and then completely shut it down here. And I do want to extend this just a tiny bit. So can we just, I'm just going to take these two and bounce tracks in place. Let's just have them as they are. And then I'm going to create some extra space here. Command I. Let's stretch these. No, I want to stretch just the last chord. Let's stretch these. Command E to split them. And we'll stretch this. Okay, so now it's a weird looping because we're in beats warp mode. So we're going to change it to texture, grain size, flux with the randomization. Also this. Texture. And we don't need to loop that anymore. Okay, and we probably need some extra melodies here, of course. That's kind of weird and unstable, but whatever. Let's move on.
I have a quick question.
Yes, please, Nissi.
So all of these additions, were they directly from intake of requests from the community, or were they taken from other filters that they thought they could emulate and then bring in? Like, how did this get so amazing overnight?
Wow, great question. I don't know how much I can actually say. Let me say a couple of things, because I didn't inquire about a few things. For example, the new auto filter have all these new filter modes. But if you remember what we did to the guitar with the roar, where we have a dispersion filter here, why didn't we get this with the regular auto filter? So I asked, and they said, I thought it's two different departments in Ableton that designed this stuff. It's actually the same head person that's in charge of all the filter design and the roar. So I'm still unclear why. But this new things, I think, is just more. Some of them, like the bounce in place, yes, that's, I think, a feature request for the software. Some of these were more push-oriented. For example, the expression chords, I would assume, because I heard about it for a long time now that they're working on this device. I think it was in relation to the push. Maybe it will even come to the move. I'm not sure, but just some more kind of ability to write this chord progression more easily on push rather than, because writing MIDI, it's easier to experiment and to write. With the push, unless you play it, it was kind of hard to play, to sequence and play chords. So some of these features are more pushed, if you may, by the pushed development team, and some of them are feature requests that are just like years people are waiting. Rani, yeah, absolutely. The DJ filter is a long time request, and the bounce in place is a super long time. And some of them, I think, is just a continuation of things that they're already working on. Like this tag system, the quick tags, the icons, I think they were already planning that for a long time, and it just got to it. Another thing I would say is that we now have a new shortcuts to edit automations. I can hit enter, I can go here, hit enter, add another point. This was in 12 beta, and right before the official release, they removed it. I guess there was too many bugs. So now they came back to it. So it's a great question, Nissi. I think it's all mixture of all kinds of things. And I did had a chance, this is a side note, but I did had a chance to meet with an amazing company last week called Beat Surfing. I've been following them for a very long time. And they were talking to Ableton just as an inside information. And Ableton, I would assume, as like any other company, a big company, their roadmap is already planned for years ahead. So I think a lot of these features were already just in the works, just making sure they can release it with the least amount of bugs possible. And that's why they also have this public beta stage for a long time to be able to have the community, us, play around with it, coming up with bugs and report them so they can fix it before they officially release it as their main version. Does Expressive Chords work on push 2 as well? Wow, that's a great question, Maura. I don't know. Serhi says that most work with any MIDI keyboard. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder about if it like take over the interface. I would assume so, yes. Rani, you met with them a few years ago? Yeah, they're great, from Belgium. So they have an office here now, temporary in LA. We might do some stuff with them. Tiny, I know I have to play this at 25% speed to follow. I know, I'm sorry for this music making was just like, just whatever. It's mostly just to do an overview of the features. And of course, you'll have the video to play as slow, as fast as you want. Thank you. Okay, let's just do a very brief overview, if you don't mind, guys, of the push 3 new features. I think a lot of these are also on the push 2. Okay, just a very brief overview. I'll even just mention some of them because I know not all of us have the push. But let's go just a second here, and I would switch back to the session view. I'm right now in control mode, so all of this stuff that I'm about to show you will also be with a standalone mode, okay? So now if you can see, we have full access to the groove pool. So I can go here and have everything. I can change anything that we would inside Ableton's, like all the features of the groove engine, we can now change from, let me open up the groove. Okay, all of these features can now also be changed from the push, which is awesome. And it's huge because it's only used to have the swing. Follow actions. This is also huge. Let's go to the session. I have a few clips here, nothing too crazy, but now I can hold play. I can hold the play button, click on a clip, and it will turn on the follow action. You see, follow action enable. I can click on a track. I gotta move my mic. Click on a track. It will turn on all the follow actions on the track. on all the clips on the track. I can click on a scene, it will turn on the follow action on the scene, or on the master, it will turn on or off on everything. So you can very quickly go from just a loop editing to sequencing a full song very easily, which is huge because now you can actually do some sequencing with the follow actions, which is great. You can also go and start editing all the follow actions as well. If I hit play, how do I forget? There's also, I need to reference the manual, but you can also go and edit the follow actions themselves. So follow actions on the push is huge because now it's much easier to start sequencing full songs. And even the follow action by themselves in Ableton now get a new feature where they can just play the longest. Oh, they're playing the longest clip instead of just the length, okay? If you have multiple clips selected. So that's huge for push users who like to compose on the push and just keep it here. You can now very easily sequence full songs without needing to launch them. They can sequence themselves. So that's awesome. If I choose, let's go back to note mode here. I'm going to go to scale. Now we have, I don't know if you can see it, custom tuning. So I can go tuning. I can choose all the micro tuning here, whatever you have, whatever you loaded up. There's quite, I loaded up a lot of them, so there's endless. And then you can load them up. And if we go, oh, Ableton crashed. Haha! I was wondering if it's going to happen at least once with beta. But now you can load custom tunings and play them on the push, which is also great. Custom tunings. Expressive Chords, we somewhat checked it out, so we can skip that. Bounce tracks, just like we have in the software. Let me wait for it to load up. We also have, yes, I do want it, please. We now have ability to bounce clips on the push as well. If it loads up, I can show you. 16 pitch, if anyone is using the Ableton Move, you now, Ableton Move had on the drum rack the ability to play a sound and then have 16 pads to play different pitch of that sound. Now we have that feature on the push as well. So you just click layout and you go to the 16 pitch mode. You hit sound and you can play 16 different pitch with that. Is that loading? Still loading. Okay, give it a second. And scene colors, which is a small update, you can hold shift, click on a scene, and change the color just like you would for clips and tracks. Now, if you guys don't have the push, the only thing that is stopping me from recommending this amazing tool is the price. It's very expensive. You can get just the controller mode, but even just for a MIDI controller, it's $1,000, which is a lot of money. For most people. The standalone is $2,000. I can tell you on myself, I probably wouldn't purchase it. Ableton gives, because I'm a certified trainer, you know, and here in LA also I'm representing Ableton in a lot of educational events and stuff. So they always give me all the gear for free, and I'm honored and humbled. But I just want to say it's an absolutely amazing tool to compose, to perform, to disconnect from the computer and just have kind of a more immersive Ableton experience, because essentially it's just an Ableton in a box. And now thankfully it's also a standalone, so it can be standalone, so you can take it and just plug headphones and go anywhere and produce music with it or perform or jam. But just the price is the only thing that prevents me from recommending it for everyone. If you can afford it, it's an absolutely amazing tool, especially now with all the newly requested features that even the previous feature added a few things that makes it amazing for live performance as well. Now, even more so. So let me go to a drum rack. If I go, and we're just going to load the drum rack here. Drums. Doesn't matter, let's load whatever. Okay, here's the drum rack. So now I can go in layout, 16 velocities. And if I click again, now we have 16 pitches. Okay, so that's coming from the move, because the move have it now, the push has it. You can change, if we go to the session view, we can change color of the scenes now, which is cool. You see that? Different color. Okay, we can bounce. Let me see if I remember how to bounce, because it's all, I didn't really play around with that. I just kind of did an overview for myself. But if I go to the clip, and I need to add a clip here, so I'll just play something. Okay, and now if I go and shift, and now we can bounce. Okay, and there's a lot of other small things, like I can quantize now individual notes that I highlight. So I can highlight notes, I can quantize just those, quantize everything, and really great. And I think we already saw the expressive chords, which are absolutely amazing as a composition tool. So now it's dedicated on the push as well. Guys, sorry, we have some chat. Kylie, thank you for joining. Yes, we'll send the video tomorrow. Dream big. You like your push 3? You have the standalone? Are these updates only on push 3? Jason, what's up, Jason? That's a great question. I don't know what's on the push 2. I will have to take out my push 2 from the closet and check what updates are there. So I don't know. There is the page here. Where is it? For the push. Is this the push stuff? Push. Here, the push stuff. So I don't know what is really for the push 2 or push 3, but they do mention a lot of it will also be for the push 2. A lot of the stuff. Dream big. I didn't get push 1 or push 2 because I was hoping for a standalone for years, and people were telling me it wouldn't happen. Glad I waited. I was at the park yesterday playing it. Yes, I mean, again, if you can afford it, it's incredible. It's expensive for what it is. And the more you know Ableton, I think the more you can get out of it. It's kind of like an MPC in some way, but Ableton's. So really great. Kaden, push 2 also awesome. I'm still with push 2. Price doesn't feel justified to upgrade. You're right, especially if you have push 2. And by the way, guys, because push 2 is out, because push 3 is out, push 2 second-hand market is much cheaper. If you want to just get the idea of what the push is, push 2 is also incredible. Push 3, I would say the main benefits are the standalone and the pads. The pads are a really nice MPE and they feel great. And by just fair warning, the push 2, after a long time, it gets sticky. Okay, just the material that they used at the time, they didn't know that it's going to get that sticky. So it gets sticky. I think there's a few ways to clean it. Even Ableton themselves are like working on solutions to provide cleaning for the push 2. Dream big, you can sample right into it. Absolutely, you have inputs. It's also an audio interface. So even if I use it in control mode, if you don't have an audio interface and you want the push, it's also an audio interface. It's not like amazing for microphones, but guitars, turntables, sampling, it's pretty decent. Not the best preamps. You can always get an external preamp. Mauros, your sticky 2 is your push 2 is sticky as hell. Mine also, god damn it. I have the push 2. I have the push 1, by the way, as well, in my closet. But yeah, dude, mine is also sticky. It's so freaking annoying. Ableton is actually working on a solution. Hopefully they will find some people who did it with Goo Gone. You know Goo Gone? It's like a cleaning solution. So some people did it with that, but at some points it takes off the protective layer. Gabe, yours also? Wait, Gabe, why did it jump? Gabe, if you mix water with baking soda and rub it on, all the sticky stuff comes off? Gabe, thank you for the solution, the grandma solution, as we call it. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, baking powder, soda, and water. Gabe, I might bring my push 2 Tuesday when I come over. Okay, Serhi, is there any courses or recommendation on how to learn chords and progressions in push? Yes, there is a guy, he's a certified trainer. His name is Jamie Blake. And he has a push course. I don't know where to get it from now. But Jamie Blake, he has a push course that it's exactly for this. So you can check out him. He has like a whole course just on playing chords and stuff on the push. Highly recommended. Jamie is a great certified trainer based here in LA. Berkeley, what's up, Berkeley? The Board Brain OptX2 does great for the push 3 ADAT and interfacing with modular. Yes, you can extend the push 3 with ADAT to connect it to any ADAT supported external preamps, modular stuff, whatever you need. But thank you. I didn't hear about the Board Brain OptX. I'll check it out. That's great. It's a pain and a mess. Okay, don't worry. I don't even. It's fine. I'm just using the push 3 anyway. Dennis, it's funny, but ordinary oil works too. Oh yeah, and grease remover. Okay, I'll check all of that. Peter, what's up, Peter? Thomas says currently Behringer A2000. Yeah, I mean, if you want to extend your, one of the Ableton certified trainers / Ableton employees, Thomas, he's based on the East Coast. He did a video recording a full drum set with the push standalone, thanks to an ADAT extension going to an 8 preamp interface. So you can absolutely do with some extra gear, you can have a whole recording studio just with the push. And now with all this extra stuff, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Devin, thank you so much. Yes, of course. Good to have you. Sweet. Any questions, anyone? I feel like we covered a nice... you know what, guys? I will share this project. Maybe I'll continue today if I have some time. I'll share the project just if anyone wants to mess around with it. I will freeze the plugins. Just, I guess, addictive drums. That's it. Everyone, just to, I'll send you also in the, thank you, Eyal. I'll send you also in the email, but we do have a weekend of Ableton workshops here in LA coming up at the end of April. There's a few tickets left. If anyone wants, I will send an email about it with the video, okay? If you guys in LA at the end of, Golan, thank you, Rani. If you guys are at the end of April in LA. Thank you for everyone for joining. The video, Nissi, please, yes.
Well, like with when you mentioned earlier the different color sets, the chord for the expressive chord feature, you had these different like presets of chords, expressive chords.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool, since this is such a visually embracing environment, like the first time that music has been brought to me in a way that I can get it, and like it would be cool if these were like, the way I see it is like filters, like when you are in Photoshop and you have different filter packs and it shows you a visual thumbnail of the palette that you're going to go into, like noir or upbeat, bright colors or somber colors. And I see these MIDI chord sets as very much like very delimited palettes, so that you can understand like the emotional color palette you're going to work in.
I would absolutely, yes. Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off. No, I agree. I think the filters themselves are just layers of manipulation of the picture. Thank you, everyone. And in this case, Hiko, you just got here. In this case, it's a chord set, so it's more kind of like time-based, like one after the other, but they do relate to one another, just like all the layers of image or visual manipulation are on a filter in Photoshop. So yes, I completely agree, and I would expect that besides the ones that come with Ableton, there's going to be a lot more people releasing all these chord sets for all sorts of vibes and styles. And like I mentioned in the beginning, the Expressive Chords is my favorite update in this amazing point update with all the other features. It's incredible. So Aaron, thank you. So yes, Nissi, I feel like we're also reaching an era where music is becoming more and more visualized to the creator. It's no longer kind of like just playing and listening. It's a lot of, we can see things much more than we used to back in the day. Kellen, thank you. Ben, thank you for joining. So yes, absolutely, Nissi. I feel like we're getting to a point where, you know, I don't really love making music in the VR or the idea of it, but maybe somewhere there where things are more visual, we can move stuff more kind of visually and, you know, even anticipate what they're going to have before. Shavua Tov, Mauro, thank you. Wendy, thank you so much for joining. Sweet, amazing. Guys, if anyone have any other questions or insights or chord sets for this, I probably make a few myself once I get some time. Please share them in the Discord as always. And we'll continue our regular sessions next week. I'm still considering what we should do. I'll look over the topic suggestions channel on Discord and we'll see what we're going to do next. Thank you everyone for joining. Nissi, thank you for the question. And we'll see everyone very soon. Gabe, I'll see you Tuesday. Bye everyone. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
Bye.